Yes, we all judge a book by its cover, but we want to know more about the story behind it. G'day mate, my name's Margie.
Hi, I'm Kami.
And welcome to our YouTube home, Mixed and Natty.
Yeah, where we talk about our passions, our projects, and biracial parenting.
So today we're going to be talking about one of our projects, which was our book, My Santa, Your Santa, and how we marketed that on Facebook.
Yes, but I didn't have much to do with that, so I'm gonna take the baby to the park. You have fun. Mwah.
Alright, bye-bye. So today we're going to be talking about the marketing of our book, My Santa, Your Santa, and how we were able to sell over 1,500 copies in our first 2 months of releasing our book on Amazon and self-publishing it, writing it, illustrating it, editing it all ourselves. So if you're also interested in maybe finding out how much we made in our first month, I've already made a video about that, so I'll put it in the cards up above, as well as in the link down below as well. If you're new to our channel and you want to see some other videos about our lives as interracial parents or some of our projects, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're there, if you can take 2 seconds to hit the like button too, it really means a lot in helping us build our channel here. Now, when we first launched our book, I wasn't prepared at all for how to market it or how to get people other than just our friends and family to buy our book. So my whole plan was, I'll launch our book on KDP and then I'll YouTube what I should be doing. But that never really happened. Instead, one of our friends had already found our book before I was ready to sort of publicly launch it and ask people for reviews. And they had already bought it and they put up a message on a Facebook group. So by then I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? So I sort of rushed and hurried into trying to figure out what I was meant to be doing. I was looking at sort of using Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, whatever I could to try and promote it. But we launched our book at the end of October 2020. And that pretty much meant that Instagram was out for us. We live in the US, Instagram had shut down all their hashtags because of the election, and hashtags are a really important way of trying to get your Instagram posts seen by more people and out there. So realistic for us, Instagram was just a no-go. It was gonna be a waste of time, and so we decided not to worry about it and we'd figure out 2021 what we would do with Instagram. And instead, we made that laser focus just on Facebook groups, Facebook posts. So the first thing I did was put up a post on my own Facebook wall. And I think the way that we made this post was probably the key reason why people really related to it and it was so successful. So instead of making a really professional photo shoot or anything like that, or trying to make it more marketing style, it was just like a regular post explaining what our book was, the pictures of us as a family reading it, and why we kind of made it. And then of course I had down each different link for all the different Amazon websites around the world, for Amazon Australia, Amazon Canada, Amazon US, Amazon Japan. Because like an idiot, I didn't realize that you could actually use Genius Link to combine all of these together. And Genius Link was probably one of the best tools that we used to help market our book. So I originally put this post on a big group in Australia, and luckily one of the girls in there messaged me and she's like, what are you doing? Why have you got all these individual links? You need to use a Genius Link instead. What that does basically is that if someone clicks on that link from Genius instead, they are automatically directed to whichever Amazon is in their country, not just the US Amazon site. That way it makes it a lot easier for people to see how much our book costs in their local currency, as well as shipping and the estimated days it would take to arrive. So that made a really big difference, we think, in terms of more countries and more people from different countries getting to see our book. So the second thing I noticed was when my friend did post on a Facebook group that it got a huge response. A lot of people were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'd love to get this. They would screenshot them taking the order and put it on there as well, which was such an amazing thing for us to see, that people were actually buying our book and wanted to show other people that they were buying our book. So that's the idea where using Facebook groups came from. So I started off with some of the groups I was already in as a parent. I'm in a lot of mixed mothers groups or mothers of mixed children, biracial children, things like that. So I decided to use just the exact same post that I had used on my Facebook wall, copy and pasted that and put that into each of the groups. And we saw a huge response from so many parents who were looking for something like this that just didn't exist anywhere. From that point on, I was on my phone 24/7 basically, finding other groups of parents that I think would really respond to our type of book, and then targeting those with our just everyday post that I had on my Facebook wall. And again, I think that's what makes a really big difference, is having that generalized post and not so much like the business marketing kind of one. Something that seems a bit more realistic and people can see where our book came from, the story behind it, not just the story inside of it. Now, when you're using Facebook groups for marketing, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. And the first one is the group rules. So whenever you join a group, most of the time they'll have rules you have to look through. You need to check these to see what they say about making sales posts. A lot of them either won't allow sales posts, or they only do it on a specific day, or they'll do it if the admin approves it personally. So there are a few different groups that I went into where at first I didn't really read the rules and I just posted it anyway. And honestly, half the time it was kind of 50-50. Half the time the post would get taken down and they would be like, nope, sorry, you can't do this. It's only on Tuesdays we do sale posts, or we don't do sales posts. But then the other half the time, sometimes the admin would message me and they're like, look, we're gonna keep it up because we think this is a really important message. So it depends on what kind of book that you are actually trying to market as to where you should be marketing it and what kind of groups will allow you to. But it's really important, niche down. I know a lot of other YouTube videos probably say this as well, but if you just try and throw your post or your book out to literally any group possible, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna have the traction that you need for other people to see it. Because that's what's important with these group posts is on Facebook, as soon as someone likes a post or comments on a post, it pushes your post back up to the top of the page. So if you can pick a group that's really going to enjoy your book, then that'll help get a lot more attention from other group members as well. And once a post gets a lot of attention, it then pops up on people's news feeds as well. So even if someone hasn't looked at this particular group in a long time, if it gets a lot of traction, Facebook will use their algorithm to put it on people's news feeds. And again, more people then get to see your book. Now, some groups in particular that are really large, like we're talking over the 1 million kind of people in a group, they are a fantastic place as well to market your book, but only on certain days, and especially at Christmas. So a lot of these really, really huge groups will allow sales posts coming into Christmas, kind of like a virtual Christmas market, or they will also make you pay to be part of the virtual Christmas market. Because our book is about Christmas, and this was literally the time that I was trying to figure out what I was meant to be doing with marketing, I lucked onto a couple of these groups and was able to put up a couple of posts for free, as well as one post for £20. Now, this group is primarily based in UK, and it by far and away made the hugest difference to our sales. We got thousands of comments and likes on this. And at the time, I had just again put our simple Facebook post onto this group and was like, yeah, let's see how it goes. I was an idiot. By this point, what I should have done was create a Facebook page, sort out our Instagram names, and also maybe have a website if I was able to. So the reason I really mentioned the Facebook page is because a lot of people in these private groups really enjoyed our story and wanted to share it outside of these groups. So a lot of the time I would have to make the post public on my page, message the people privately and be like, hey, yeah, you can find it from my page to share it. What I should have done though, which I did afterwards, was actually set up a personal page for our book or our brand, so then I could direct people to that, and then they could like the page, and then any information I put up afterwards, they will see those posts coming up on their newsfeed. And that's a really good way to also retain an audience as well if you end up releasing another book or if you do anything else in the future, like YouTube, for example. Afterwards, I realized my mistake when I saw a lot of other sort of virtual market posts. A lot of people had done like the sort of 4-picture pretty sales post, but they had in their website, their Facebook page, their socials. So I constantly was having to go back or reply to people's comments, be like, yeah, it's over here, or yeah, we can do that here. When I should have, from the start, created a Facebook page specifically for our book. So that is my number 2 recommendation. Number 1, get a Genius link. Number 2, make yourself a Facebook page. The third thing, of course, though, is you need to figure out what you're going to write in your posts and what kind of photos maybe you want to put with it. In terms of photos, do you creating your book, show behind the scenes or what this book means to you, not just a picture of the book. Because I mean, yes, we all judge a book by its cover, but we want to know more about the story behind it. So choose some personal photos. I think that really made a difference with us getting our message across. In terms of what to write, again, give us a behind the scenes. Why did you write this book? Who is it for? What is the message that you're trying to portray from your book? That way people understand not just what's inside your book, but the whole reason for it. And they can relate a lot more to it and are more likely to push that link and go and check it out. Of course, reviews are really, really, really important. And there's a couple of different promotions you can do with Amazon in terms of getting reviews before you officially launch your book, which I, of course, didn't do because I'm an idiot and I just hadn't gotten prepared for that. But I'm going to make another video about what you are meant to do and what we're going to be doing for our future books. And once I do, I'll put it in the cards up here and in the links down below. So just to recap, first thing, get a genius link for your book. Second thing, set up a Facebook page for your book or your brand in general. Third thing, create a post that is going to be relatable to your audience and show the behind the scenes and the reasoning for your book, not just what's inside your book. Fourth thing, reply to comments. Anyone who purchased your book, a few weeks later, ask them if they can leave a review for your book as well. There are also a few other ways that you can market your book. So you could do it through an advertising company if you had the money. We didn't. We did everything ourselves out of our own budgets. We didn't have a lot to work with, which is why we decided to try and just wing it on Facebook and see how we go. You can also though reach out to news media outlets, whether it's newspapers or news channels or other influencers as well. Now, because we had released our book towards the end of the year, I didn't really feel comfortable contacting any other influencers just yet because I wanted to see how our book did just by itself. But we did contact a few news outlets as well, and we got into 3 different newspapers and on 3 different websites too. So I'm gonna make a whole video about how we managed to actually get reporters to notice our book, the interviews that we did with them, and how it was able to get out and publicized. So once I make that video, I'll leave some info in the cards up above, as well as a link to the video down below. Thank you for watching this video. Again, if you wanna see how much we made for our first month on Amazon KDP, links will be down below. Also, comment down below if maybe you've tried any other different tactics on Facebook or on different social media for trying to help promote your book, or if you're having any issues or any questions, feel free to ask as well. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you'd like to see some of our other videos as well. And thanks for watching. Mwah!